Journal, go to therapy, do something. But I find journaling very important.
Mm-hmm.
I get to write down who I'm being and who I am at this moment.
Sure.
And then when I get to who I'm becoming and becoming more,
Mm-hmm.
I get to look back and see how far I've come.
Exactly. And that's powerful stuff.
It is.
It is powerful stuff, Gary. And a lot of, if more men just leaned into what you're saying, what I'm saying, that manifestation of who they will become at the end is so powerful. And frankly, it will scare you when you see what just putting into practice some of these things can do. When I call out those 3 points, right? And notice I did not say money. That is purposeful. Money is subjective, folks. Money is a social construct, okay? Focus on those 3 items that I share when we're talking about emotional well-being, when we're talking about relationship well-being, when we're talking about spiritual and physical well-being. Start there. The journal, that's your next step. The coach, that's your next step. A mentor, that's your next step. These are all things you can do when we're talking about self-worth, leveling up. You won't get it all right today, and you know what? That's fine. You will not get it all right today. You will not get it all right in the course of a year or the next 2 years, and that is fine. But as long as you're moving forward, too many of us right now are just existing.
And dying.
And dying, yes. You're dying from comfort. You're dying from comfort. You're dying from not stepping in. You're dying from not leaning into that pressure. Diamonds, folks, that diamond mentality. It will take time. It will take pressure. But at the end of the day, the version of you that's going to be on the other end of that is going to blow you away.
Absolutely. And dying inside, and I mean that physically and mentally. A lot of men nowadays are committing suicide and killing themselves. And
Certainly.
It hurts.
Certainly.
And it's from those of not being heard, not being understood, not being vulnerable, and not tackling those fears, and just getting in that depression state and thinking that you're alone and thinking that you're by yourself. But we, as people and as men especially, we go through a lot.
Sure.
And we need to get over ourselves
Certainly.
in a way.
Certainly.
And it's hard.
Certainly.
And it's hard. It's not easy. By no means is it easy. Getting out of your own headspace, getting out of your own head, it is not easy. I remember how depressing it is, and it's one of those wake-up calls, man. You just got to reach out. And also, when you find self-worth, you level up. When you level up, people, more people that are leveling up come around you.
Sure.
You are who you hang around with. That energy does pass through. It certainly does pass through. And that energy will float towards you. And as a man, I picked up on it. I notice it. All my friends, we have a growth mindset. And we push each other to be better. And as we keep going and being better, we get better. And other men that are getting better come around us, other guys that are leveling up, other people, women also. But it's very important. It is so important. I know how much life is suffering.
Sure.
Life hurts. It does. And it gets to those points where you feel like you're all alone. That sucks.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
To think that you're all alone when you just find that moment when you realize a lot of men feel this way. And just reaching out and stop feeling sorry for yourself. And some of it's not even that. I understand. It goes beyond that. But I'm not the doctor to figure that out.
Sure.
Yeah,
sure,
but
sure.
it's a lot, man. And I just remember those times. I remember those times. And during those times, I could have used a coach. I could have used a mentor. Heck, I could have used a real, actual friend when I'm not talking about drinking or talking about women. I'm talking about growth in life and what I'm actually going through and venting. And that's why I say I'm in the healthiest place I've ever been. Been around men like you, who I could vent to, who I can lean on, who I can talk to, and not even get advice from. But when I do need advice, it is correct, spot on, and very helpful.
Certainly. Certainly.
So I really appreciate every aspect of that and every aspect of our relationship as well. And as a man of your caliber and how I see you move, when it comes to mentorship, and I find you to be a great mentor, what age groups fits personally with you when it comes to mentoring?
Great question, Gary. And that's a very good question. And I'll answer it. And you really lean into something that's powerful. I mean, this entire conversation has been just that. You've got to get comfortable with discomfort. Get over yourself. Learn to be comfortable with vulnerability. It's more and more, I think one thing that you run into, if you're listening to this and you're like, these guys, I'm in my 50s. How do I level up?
Oh,
I got
that's a
more
good
life
one.
behind me.
Yes,
I got
yes.
more life behind me than ahead of me. How do I level up? What's the point at this point? I'm in my 60s. How do I level up? I'm in my 40s. How do I level up? I can't be out here competing with these younger guys and come up with your excuse, whatever it is. I'm speaking to you when I say every day, every moment is an opportunity to level up. I don't care how old you are. You can be a better version of yourself. And because, again, as we get older, I think it's easier to and I'm going to tell you something, Gary.
Yes.
I will tell anyone listening to this podcast right now, the most dangerous road in these United States of America is memory lane. Don't go down memory lane. Don't hang out on memory lane. Don't talk to anybody on memory lane.
Ooh.
You do not exist on memory lane. So many people get wrapped up in shoulda, woulda, coulda. And I'm going to tell you folks, that is just free rent that you're giving away. You're just letting those thoughts, those feelings, those regrets swell up and eat you up. And I'm going to tell you right now, the present that you can, the future that you can construct is so much better than anything in your past.
I like that. Do not hang out in memory lane.
Most dangerous road in America.
Man, moving forward. Move forward.
Yeah.
Keep going. Take what you needed, learn from it, and move forward.
Exactly. No matter where you are in life.
Yes.
No matter where you are in life.
No matter where you are in life. And with that being said, we all need mentors. Men, women, we need mentors. We need guidance. We need friends. We need community.
Certainly.
We really do. Go ahead.
And Gary, let me get back to your question too. What age group? I'm 44, and I have what I feel is an abundance of life experience as well as professional experience. And as far as age groups, I feel I have something to contribute to really some of everyone.
Yeah.
Right? Because part of being a mentor, part of being a coach is also listening. That's the 50-50 mindset.
Yes.
It's not just all about you, the mentor, or you, the coach. It's also about listening. And so from that standpoint, I can listen to a 52, 53-year-old man who says to me, James, I want to get in shape. I want to get in shape for my family, for my loved ones. What can we do? How can you and I work on that? I can listen to a 24-year-old, a 25-year-old who's like, all my friends are fixated on intimacy, on FOMO, YOLO, having a fast car, making six figures. I can listen to them and I can guide them, because as a mentor, as a coach, more than anything, people are coming to you to be a sounding board, be a cheerleader, and at the same time be a resource, right? It's not enough that I may be in a position where that person is aspiring to be. I also have to be willing to be those things that I just shared for that person. I have to be willing to listen. I should not be directing the entire conversation. At the end of the day, I need to be pulling these things out of the individual, because a lot of times you'll be surprised, Gary, but the answer you are seeking is within you. You already have a fundamental idea. You just need to manifest it outside of yourself. And a good coach, a good mentor can accomplish that for you. And I feel confident in saying that I am capable, if you will, without it sounding like hubris.
Yes.
I am capable, if you will, of bringing that out in others.
Nice. And I know with that coaching comes into play. How do you coach someone? How do you coach another man? How do you coach
Certainly.
a man trying to level up?
Certainly. Going back to what I shared earlier, I need to be in a space where I'm one-on-one with that individual.
Okay.
It needs to be like this,
Yes.
right? It needs to be personal. It is not enough to simply say we're going to have, these weekly Zoom chats and different things like that. It's not enough.
It isn't.
Also, there has to be a cadence. And you have to have expectations on that mentee. At the end of the day, things along the lines of, are you bringing an agenda for us to cover? Are you showing up on time? Are you holding yourself accountable? It's not enough for me to hold you accountable. You have to hold yourself accountable first. If you will not be accountable for putting stock in my time, then at the end of the day, I already see that you're not committed and you're not ready. You're not ready to level up. If you cannot commit to this relationship,
yes.
As I shared earlier, relationships are important.
Yes.
If you are showing in your inactions, that you are not willing to commit to this relationship, you're already failing, right?
Yes.
So it comes down to things like cadence. It comes down to I in my work I share media and medium. How are we cascading information to our people? What medium are we using, right? So like, are we using the internet? Are we using email, different things like that? What media, types of documents, videos, different things like that. Mix it up. Don't just always let it be, oh, let's meet over coffee and go from there. Mix it up. Call them on a weekend. Call them when they're not expecting you. Text them and say, hey, I was thinking about you today, brother, and I'm proud of this journey, and I'm proud to be a part of your journey. Mix it up.
Effort.
Yeah, effort. And as the mentor, you've got to mix it up, right? You've got to keep them engaged. And they also need to be committed. Again, as I shared, they need to be committed to the relationship. Have realistic expectations. If I'm like a chief financial officer, I'm not expecting you to just, in the next, say, 6 months, 8 months, level up to my level. No, it's not realistic.
Yes.
Have realistic expectations and challenge them, right? Challenge them. Similar to what you and I shared earlier about celebrating those small wins. Challenge them to say, okay, hey, here's our goal. We want to lose 25 pounds by February so that we can be ready to be the best version of ourselves for our friend's wedding in May. What did we do today? Oh, well, you know what? James, today I sat down and I looked in my purpose, my purpose journal, and I wrote down, I'm going to spend 15 minutes walking. And you know what? I exceeded that. I spent 18 minutes walking today. Way to go, Eric. I'm so proud of you. That's how we win around here.
There you go. I like it. I love that, man. Thank you for that. When it comes to being a mentee, you have to be willing to put in the effort.
Certainly.
And most of all, you have to be vulnerable enough to say, I don't have all the answers. I myself, I don't have all the answers. Most of the time, I really don't. I don't have all the answers at all. And
Sure.
I don't know everything. I don't know it all.
Sure.
If I did, probably we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Sure.
Be vulnerable. Willing to open up. Willing to say, hey, and speak it. I don't know it. Be willing to have a childlike mindset of learning and growing.
Yes.
You're about to say something. Go ahead.
Yeah, Gary, and I'm glad you call that out too from the mentee standpoint. I will tell you right now, folks, there are successful CEOs, there are successful C-suite executives. They have mentors and coaches.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Need mentors and coaches.
Everybody.
Men, women, get out there, get a mentor, get a coach. We all need guidance. We're social creatures. We're not here to be alone. We're not here to be alone, and we need to learn how to live and get better and level up.
We are.
That's one way to better this world, in my opinion, is to cultivate meaningful relationships and stay on them.
Exactly.
Stay on them.
Exactly.
Effort becomes effortless once you keep that ball rolling.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Really does.
No, I like
and
that.
You enjoy it.
I like that. Effort becomes effortless as you keep that ball rolling. You're totally right. Remember that, folks. At the end of the day, you can learn, you can grow, and it all starts with taking that first step. It starts with you. It's what's within your control right now that you can be that you can take advantage of, right? How do you start leveling up? Go back to those 3 points. I challenge you, go back and listen to this podcast. Re-listen to this podcast. And hopefully you start to just pick up on those simple nuggets that you can be using right now to level up, to see your own self-worth. You know, when we're talking about mentoring, when we're talking about coaching, the steps you can start taking, go back and listen to this podcast again. I assure you, there's a lot of gold in this conversation.
Thanks, James Green. It was a pleasure having you on here, man.
My pleasure.
Yeah,
My pleasure.
I appreciate that, man.